His name, is Andy Byron, Byron, and he's the CEO of a company called Astronomer, and that is his chief people officer. Is that what we're calling HR now? That is so weird.
The chief people officer, Kristen Cabot, chief people officer.
Chief people officer, Kristen Cabot, Cabot. The problem here is that Andy Byron is married to someone other than Kristen Cabot.
At exactly 9:43 p.m. on July 17th, the cameras at Gillette Stadium zoomed in. The crowd was glowing under Coldplay's stadium lights, and the kiss cam had found its next target. But instead of a kiss, what followed was a glitch in the matrix. A moment so awkward, so revealing, that within 17 minutes, TikTok had cracked the code. Wait, is that Astronomer CEO Andy Byron and Kristen Kitt, the chief people officer? One concert-goer's offhand upload exploded into a corporate detonation. The man ducked, the woman flinched, and across the stadium, fans screamed for romance, while two executives silently unraveled.
We're going to continue to expand globally.
Andy Byron, CEO of a billion-dollar AI company, and Kristen Cabot, his head of human resources, were seen shrinking in panic at the concert.
It should have been a cute moment. Instead, it was the beginning of a billion-dollar implosion. The irony was inescapable. Andy Byron, the man behind one of the tech world's most sanitized, family-friendly AI companies, was caught on the jumbotron stiffening like a board while sitting next to a woman who wasn't his wife. And Kristen Kitt, the HR executive whose literal job was managing workplace behavior, now found herself at the center of a spectacle so public, HR itself needed an HR department. According to multiple viral commentators, Byron is married with children. Kristen is reportedly married too, to another CEO. But in those 15 seconds of stadium silence, none of that mattered. The internet didn't see two executives. They saw guilt. They saw secrets. They saw a couple caught.
A CEO has been sacrificed, which officially marks the beginning of summer.
So who handles it when HR is part of the problem?
Your side. Lovers only at Coldplay.
Come on, use your brain. How are you a CEO and not using your brain?
The fallout didn't wait for sunrise. By the next morning, Kristen had deleted her LinkedIn, Andy was missing from Slack, and insiders told us Astronomer's legal team had entered what one employee allegedly called DEFCON 2. But what made this moment so viral wasn't just the kiss that never happened. It was the fact that within hours, the alleged affair wasn't a rumor. It was being texted into evidence. And according to multiple sources, it wasn't an outsider who leaked those messages. It was Andy Byron's wife, Megan. That's when everything changed, because the texts didn't just expose a messy office romance, they exposed blackmail, corporate leverage, emotional spiraling, and a woman so done, she turned her husband's iPhone into a grenade. And in a poetic twist only Coldplay could underscore, the band was playing Fix You as the couple crumbled.
You're gonna blame Chris Martin for what you did? You're gonna place blame on Coldplay for your infidelity and transgressions with a higher up at your company, of which you are the CEO? Child, please.
The symbolism was so on the nose, Twitter barely had to add captions. By 3:47 a.m., the concert was over. The stadium had emptied. But somewhere in $1 million home on the East Coast, Kristen Kitt was spiraling. According to sources close to the situation, that's when the first message hit Andy Byron's phone. Andy, are you awake? I can't sleep. I keep seeing that moment over and over. The way you looked at me. Or didn't. The kiss. Cam clip had gone viral, but Kristen's reaction was still unfolding. In private, one message at a time. Sources confirmed the texts were real. Screenshots from Andy's phone, reportedly leaked by his wife, Megan Byron, show Kristen unraveling in real time. At 3:51 a.m., she sent another. You can't ghost me. Not after everything. I gave up my marriage, my reputation, my peace of mind. You owe me a response. And Megan? She wasn't just watching, she was documenting. According to reports, Megan Byron had seen the live stream. She knew exactly who her husband was with when he ducked the kiss. And by morning, she had screenshots of every desperate, emoji-soaked message Kristen sent between 3:47 and 6:33 a.m. These weren't just texts, they were evidence. Megan didn't rage, she didn't scream, she swiped, she leaked, and in doing so, she flipped the script on every cheating CEO cliche the internet thought it had seen before. Sources say Megan released the messages to protect herself, but the timing, right as the internet frenzy peaked, suggests something more tactical. She wasn't just exposing infidelity, she was detonating a bomb. Kristen's messages had taken a darker turn. Don't let this be the end of us. Tell me those late nights in your office meant something. Tell me you meant it when you said you loved me.
The two executives caught on that now infamous Coldplay kiss cam were first identified on a TikTok account of someone who apparently works at the company. Oh my god, that looks like astronomer CEO Andy Byron and astronomer chief people officer Kristen Cabot.
Insiders close to the situation say that's when Megan's lawyers got involved. Because Kristen's texts weren't just unhinged, they hinted at power imbalances, possible workplace retaliation, and corporate leverage. You said your marriage was just for show. You said once the timing was right, Kristen wrote at 5:15 a.m., according to the alleged screenshots. But the real bomb dropped at 6:33 a.m. when she messaged, "If you walk away now, Andy, you're not just walking away from me, you're walking away from both of us." Insiders claim Megan's legal team flagged that as a potential pregnancy implication. No confirmation, no receipts, just one line, vague enough to terrify and dangerous enough to go viral. If it was a bluff, it worked. Because by sunrise, Andy Byron had gone silent, not just from Kristen, but from everyone. By mid-morning, Kristen wasn't just trending, she was memed into oblivion. The alleged texts were circulating faster than Astronomers Board could type "Resignation," and the internet had crowned Megan Byron the new queen of corporate revenge. But the most viral moment? The now infamous image of Kristen, barefoot in a cardigan, watering plants outside her $2.2 million mansion, wedding ring missing, dignity nowhere in sight. Paparazzi had camped out. Daily Mail blasted the photo. TikTok gave her a new name, the Garden Snake. It was poetic.
Sleep your way to the top with your boss to get all your friends promoted and get you a nice fancy job title, then do not go to a Coldplay concert with him. Actually, you gotta be okay with going to an Applebee's. You gotta be okay with all your dates being at the Waffle House. So why are you at a high-profile concert with the man that you're having an affair with who's the CEO of your company?
Kristen had allegedly traded corner office authority for corner lot shame, and all she had to show for it were a hose, a headline, and half the internet asking, "Is this woman okay?" But the real twist wasn't in the garden, it was in the group chats. Because according to multiple sources, Kristen didn't just text her way into humiliation, she typed her way into a legal minefield. Screenshots revealed she'd allegedly referenced sensitive internal details, board discussions, company investigations, even hints at SEC interest. One message read, "I covered for you when the board asked questions," and another, flagged by legal insiders, mentioned keeping comms tight with investors. If real, those texts don't just suggest bad judgment, they suggest a possible federal issue. We're not just talking HR violations anymore, we're talking alleged corporate misconduct with potential whistleblower fallout and SEC scrutiny. And Kristen? She'd allegedly typed it all out during a breakdown at 4:00 a.m., while Megan was calmly screenshotting the digital wreckage. And Megan? She wasn't done. After scrubbing Byron from her Facebook name, a move eagle-eyed users noticed immediately, she posted a story. Not a crying selfie, not a rant, just a matcha latte, a book, and a caption. Sometimes the real snake smiles in your face and sits in your husband's office. That's it. No names, no hashtags, just a digital clapback so quiet and savage, Twitter gave it a standing ovation. Reddit threads erupted with support. TikTok creators declared her the real CEO of Astronomer. Meanwhile, Andy had vanished. No Slack login, no statement, just total PR blackout. According to insiders, his legal team had advised full ghost mode, including reportedly blocking Kristen on every app, disabling WhatsApp, and purging old emails. The CEO of a billion-dollar AI firm was now behaving like a terrified teenager dodging an ex. And sources say, Kristen, she noticed. Inside Astronomer's headquarters, panic wasn't just rising, it was protocol. According to sources familiar with the internal response, the company immediately launched what one employee reportedly described as a double-blind containment strategy. Translation? HR was investigating HR. Kristen Kitt had been scrubbed from the company website, her internal access allegedly disabled. But insiders say that wasn't the real concern. It was what Kristen still had, because if even half of her text messages were true, she didn't just have receipts, she had the makings of a corporate disaster. The question wasn't, did she go too far? It was, what else is she holding? And according to one source, the answer could be catastrophic. She knows too much. She kept everything. Emails, voice notes, investor meeting decks. If she hit send, We're talking subpoenas, not Slack bans. But here's where it gets darker. Kristen wasn't alone on that kiss cam, and she wasn't the only HR executive at the Coldplay concert. According to multiple viral threads, another HR staffer from Astronomer was seen seated nearby, and that person had just received a suspicious promotion weeks earlier. Now Reddit sleuths and alleged former employees are asking the same question. Was that promotion hush money? Did someone in HR already know about the affair and choose silence over ethics? It's a rumor, but in a post-kiss cam world, it's a loaded one. Because if there was even a whisper of cover-up, that turns this from a scandal into an active liability. And the board? Reportedly furious. Legal teams have now gone into what one insider called forensic lockdown mode. Every email, every Slack message, every calendar invite pulled for audit, not for gossip, for legal protection. And then there's Kristen's last message, the one that stopped everyone cold. Not a threat, not a plea, just a sentence allegedly sent through Signal at 10:07 a.m. the day after the concert. "You know I won't go down alone." Sources say that message was flagged by Astronomer's legal team within minutes. One insider claims it's now part of a sealed internal file marked Escalation Tier Red. That's reportedly the same designation used in high-risk whistleblower cases. Kristen hasn't been seen since the garden photos. But the silence? It's louder than any post. And Megan? She's done talking. She's not posting. She's not reacting. She's just watching. And that might be the most terrifying move yet. Because when the internet's favorite betrayed wife goes quiet, that's when the storm is about to break. Again. By the end of the week, Astronomer no longer had a CEO. Andy Byron, once the face of AI innovation, had resigned effective immediately. According to a press release, the company pushed out late Friday evening, the PR equivalent of whispering during a fire alarm. Kristen Kitt, meanwhile, had vanished from all public platforms. LinkedIn, deleted, Instagram, wiped. Sources say her corporate email bounced by Tuesday. Internally, Astronomer is reportedly bracing for legal action. One insider claims the board is scrambling to find out exactly what Kristen still has access to and whether Megan's leaks triggered a larger investigation. There's growing chatter, too, from investors demanding answers about how long this alleged affair had been going on and whether board oversight was as non-existent as the company's crisis strategy. But outside the boardroom, the real story isn't about HR protocols or stock prices. It's about power. Who had it, who lost it, and who used it best. Andy Byron, he lost everything in 15 seconds on a jumbotron. Kristen Kitt, she gambled her marriage, her job, and her reputation, and may have nothing to show for it but screenshots and subpoenas. But Megan Byron, she rewrote the script. She turned betrayal into spectacle, grief into strategy, and silence into destruction. She never yelled, never begged, never posted a selfie from a yoga retreat. She just let the internet do what it does best, expose the truth. And in doing so, she didn't just win the breakup, she demolished the empire that dared to humiliate her in public. Still, Kristen hasn't pressed send. Yet. Sources close to the situation suggest she's lying low, biding her time, possibly negotiating behind the scenes. Because if her final message, "You know I won't go down alone," was more than a bluff, Astronomer may not survive round 2. There's still speculation about what she's holding, emails, financial records, secret Slack channels. One source claims there's a password-protected folder labeled "In case he ghosts me." If that's true, and if she lets it loose, we're not just talking viral scandal. We're talking corporate Armageddon. But until then, the world's watching, Megan's already moved on, Andy's in hiding, and Kristen? She's sitting on a time bomb made of texts, lies, and whatever secrets she saved before the garden hose came out. That's the tea on the Coldplay Kiss Cam catastrophe. But what do you think really happened here? Was Kristen spiraling or playing chess? Did Megan just execute the classiest revenge move of the decade? Drop your theories in the comments, hit that like button if you think Andy Byron just ruined more than his marriage, and subscribe for more savage celebrity takedowns. Click here for another story where one viral moment destroyed everything.